Hello traders, this video is really geared for the complete newbies and we're going to talk about candles. What exactly are they and what they do? So in front of you, you see a chart from a company called Naspers, NPN, which is a South African based tech company which owns quite a bit of Tencent. So I think what I'm going to do here is let's just drill in supersonic size and so we can just focus on what's on the screen. Okay, so let us pick on the candle. So we'll start with this candle here, and I'll just block it white. Okay, so this is the one we're going to focus on. Take that off, make that red, and just make it nice and thick. Okay, so in between these two candles, this candle in the middle is what we're looking to go through. So the first thing that you see here is the candle has a top, which is there, okay? The candle also has a bottom, which is there. So now, all that really represents, sorry, can't, all that's telling you is that you have a opening and a closing price. So if the candle is red, it means it opened here and it closed here during this time frame. And I'm looking at a daily time frame. Okay, so the daily time frame is where we opened here and then we moved down through the day and we closed here. Okay, the next element of the candle is what we call the wick. Okay, um, so the wick is this area here from the bottom of the candle to there. So you can see, you clearly see how that line goes down. In fact, what we can do is just make it a little bit thicker, give you a better idea. Okay, so now you can see that the wick extends to the downside there, and there's a little one on the top. Basically, what that means is that price did go further, but then came back and closed at this level. Same at the top, price did go higher, but it came back into the bar. So if you think of it, all that this is telling you is that we had a solid move down. We had a bigger move down, but it did, the buyer that stepped in on the bottom of the tail. Okay, so that's just a typical candle. Right. Now, obviously the converse is true if it's green, right? So if it's green, price opened here, and through the day it moved up to the upside, went all the way up there, came back, and then the close of the day, that was its closing price there. Okay. All it's really giving you is an indication of what direction this trade happened to go in during the day, and whether there was any new highs created or lows created, and that's the basis of what the candle is telling you. However, each candle can tell you a different story, and that's where you start looking at the different candle patterns, and you start hearing things like dojis and spinning tops and spinning bottoms and hanging man and pin bars and inside bars, etc., etc. So if we look at this candle here, okay, you can see we opened up pretty much there. I'm going to move my mouse on there because it highlights it. So just follow the horizontal red line. Okay. So we opened there and we closed there. So there was very little net movement during the day, but price did go all the way up here and it came all the way down here. But at the end of the day, we basically moved like a couple of pips. But what does that tell you? So during the day, nobody really knew what to do. They tried to get it going up, it failed. They tried to push it down, it failed. So that represents indecision. So throughout the whole day, nobody really knew what to do. The bulls didn't have control, the bears didn't have control. So this is typically an indication of indecision, and often when it we get a price higher than the previous high, which is right there, then it continues to the upside. Okay, so this has various names: spinning top, doji. There's a number of different names. And I think before you even start trying to learn the names of them, you need to understand what the candle is trying to tell you. Okay, if we move on to the next day, you can see that price was pushed all the way down here, and then the buyers stepped in and pushed price up to the top. So now that represents a pin bar. But what it's telling you is that there's continuation from here, because we broke higher. Let's put a line in here. So we broke above the high of this candle. We came back trying to make a new low, but it failed and pushed up. The buyers were in control here. That's all that pin bar is telling you. Buyers are in control. Probability is we're going to push a little bit higher still. And the next day we did. We opened and we closed. Now, obviously, there are a number of different candles patterns that tell you a lot of things. And you can see like this move to the downside. It was consecutive lower highs, lower highs. So each day made a high, but the high was lower than the previous day. And when you start putting multiple candles together, you start picking up patterns, and that's where you start looking at your price action patterns. Okay, the other thing, I just want to go right to the end of NustPass, with all the chaos we've been having the last couple of days. So, okay, so you can see here the price, the share price, basically was just fluctuating in this area with very small candles, opening there, closing there, opening there, closing there, gap up the next day, then running up and then running up, so very small moves up and down, very confusing. So when you look at the bigger picture here, and when I say bigger picture, I'm saying group all of those candles together because it's basically going sideways. And it's telling you a story. So, well, there are buyers that are sitting here. You can see every time it comes down into this area, the buyers step in and they buy the stock they feel it's of a good value, and they push the price up. But then, if you look at this bar here, you can see price opened there. They tried to push the price all the way to the top and failed, and eventually closed it with a very large tail to the top. Now, this is an indecision candle as well, but it's negative. So in other words, the long tail to the top means there's a lot of a lot of sellers that stepped into the market and started selling their stock. Okay, and they were just selling. It could have been panic. This was actually the whole Amazon debacle with Trump on this day here. So the market was rallying nicely until Trump opened his eyes in the morning and got onto Twitter and decided he didn't like Amazon anymore. So, and that's what drove the market down. And obviously the consecutive days is repercussions of what happened inside that, with that tweet. Okay. So NustPass being part of the tech stock, it also got hammered with regard to that. But now what you see here is on this day here, you can see how big this candle is. So we've got a massive tail to the bottom, indicating that the buyers stepped in here looking for value. So 2,700, they stepped in and they started buying stock, and they're still buying stock today, right? So every candle tells you an individual story. So what you need to do is you need to have a look at each candle and understand what it's telling you, okay? Now, this is on the daily. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something on the hour, okay? And then just to make life easy, I'm going to change the background of the odd days. Okay. Work, let's go back. So even days will make grey and odd days will make white. Okay. So now what this allows you to see is on a daily basis what's going on. So let's just go back to the daily. You see daily we have individual candles, okay? And the minute I start drilling down, go to the 4 hour, you'll see what happens on the one day. Okay, now when you see a candle like this one here, you'll often hear me talking about a range bar. This is a range bar. So what's happened on Friday the 23rd of March is price has gone up and down, up and down, up and down. And we can go and look at it. Friday the 23rd. There you go. The price went up, went down. Okay. So basically that is a range bar. Now, if we come to the range bar and we say, what happened to the range? If you want to know more about ranges, just have a look through my channel. You'll see there's a video on ranges. And you'll see if we break a range to the bottom, price moves to the downside. If we break a range to the top, price typically moves to the upside. So what's happened here? This range bar was broken to the downside, and there was my first target, which is a Fibonacci expansion, and I will make a separate video on Fibonacci's for you to understand that. There was my second target, which was the height of this range. So that the height of this candle is how far it moved down, okay? And then there is a 161.8% Fibonacci expansion. And again, I will make a separate video on Fibonacci's for you to understand. But the point that I'm getting at here is really each candle telling you a story. This one was telling you that there were sellers. This is telling you that there are sellers. This is telling you that there was indecision and price went up and down, up and down. And so essentially what will happen is traders that feel that the price is going to go up will put their trade in, and they will have a stop loss sitting below this pin bar, okay? And often if it breaks a range, then those stop losses get triggered, which forces the next red candle, because now they're selling. And the selling just continues, momentum builds. And the converse is true for the top. So if somebody felt that the market was going to be going down, you'd have a stop up here and place his trade here. And as soon as it broke here, obviously it would accelerate outside of the range. And that's just the way the market dynamics works. So if we drill down a little bit further, let's take it into 15 minutes. Okay. Now you'll see things. So yesterday where we had that massive pin bar, you can see the sellers stepped in, they sold, got to the bottom, and all of a sudden these buyers started coming, and they started buying, and driving it to the upside. Okay. So obviously this is an area where they feel there's great value to be had by buying the stock at this level, which is not surprising since we had a high of over 4,000. So, 3,000, 4,000, that's a substantial discount that you're buying the stock at the moment. So when you're looking at stock charts, or you're looking at any other chart, and they start showing you the candlestick patterns, what you want to do is you just want to understand what's happening. And it's quite simple, red candles, opening is up at the top and it closes there. Consecutive red candles mean there's consecutive selling. Candles going sideways mean there's a lot of indecision. So if it goes to the top, it'll accelerate up. If it breaks below there, it'll accelerate to the downside. So this is the basis of candlesticks. And within candlesticks are patterns, but I will spend some time on that separately to show you some of the different patterns. Okay, and I think let's just take Facebook as an example. And you can see similar pattern. It doesn't matter what time frame you look at, it doesn't matter what stock you look at, it doesn't matter whether it's forex or anything else like that. I mean, have a look at this bar here. Immediately when you see something like that, you know that the pressure is to the upside. There are buyers sitting here. So the high probability trade is to buy the stock or buy the forex or whatever instrument you're trading and wait for it to push to the upside. And a rule of thumb, if you're not sure about getting out your targets, is things like this almost always travel the height of the pin bar, okay? So you can see right there where profit was taken. Okay, so So yeah, guys, if you've got any questions around candlesticks, please drop them into the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And yeah, hopefully that helps. And I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Cheers.